You're listening to Cosmic Cousins Soul-Centered Astrology. For grounding that ass from all the New Age sass. I am your host, Jeff Henshaw. Season 7 of Cosmic Cousins is dedicated to honoring the interconnectedness of our universal family through embodied health, self-discovery, and deeper learning. Hey, Cosmic Cousins. Welcome back to another week of the show. I'm starting this episode off a little bit differently because I have a new offering that I would like to announce. So I just wanted to make sure that you caught that. I have a new workshop download coming out on Black Moon Lilith. It's called Unleash the Queer Witch in Your Chart. So Black Moon Lilith is an interesting one. And this is a placement that I get a lot of questions about. So there's a lot of interest with Black Moon Lilith, but not a lot of information out there. So because many of you have reached out saying you wanted to learn more, I created this offering. So it's a 90-minute workshop download to help upgrade your current understanding of Black Moon Lilith. So a lot of the information that I'm going to be sharing with you have come through my own practice of tuning in, the downloads that I have received. I have in my own chart Black Moon Lilith and Cancer, and so this whole past year, the Cancer North Node has been transiting over my natal Black Moon Lilith and Cancer, and I have been receiving a lot of new insights into this placement. And so this placement in your chart, it speaks to many themes connected to the deeper emotions that we might feel, like rage, grief, sorrow, heartache, particularly in relationship to being a witch or someone who identifies as queer. So Black Moon Lilith rules over anything that has been repressed by our modern patriarchal society. This is connected to any minority groups. This is connected to any earth-based religions that have been repressed, like paganism. So we can use this placement to empower ourselves. And we can also look to transiting Black Moon Lilith to understand collective cycles of evolution around these themes. So in our time together, you'll learn how to utilize this placement in your chart as vocabulary to bring about deeper healing and insight to the parts of you that feel repressed. Black Moon Lilith is also connected to sexuality and tuning in and listening to our more deeper primal desires. So if any of these themes are of interest to you, then this is the workshop download for you. Topics covered in this 90-minute download, and we'll do an overview of Black Moon Lilith in each of the 12 signs. We'll connect with legendary figures who have prominent Black Moon Lilith placements. Like, for instance, Rosa Parks has Sun conjunct Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius. So there's a little teaser we talk about Rosa Parks and a lot of other figures. Judy Garland has Black Moon Lilith in Pisces on her midheaven in Pisces. So there's some really powerful figures that we can really explore this theme with. And so we'll also do important Black Moon Lilith dates for you in 2020 to be aware of, understanding transiting Black Moon Lilith's 9-year cycle. And this one's near and dear to my heart, but you're going to discover how you can utilize this placement to better serve the LGBTQIA community. So, again, Black Moon Lilith, Unleash the Queer Witch in Your Chart. This offering is open for pre-enrollment. And the pre-enrollment rate is available through the end of February. It's $50. And then the price will increase in March. So again, if you enroll in February, you'll get the discounted rate. And either way, this will be open to the public throughout March. And then when it's released, You will receive the 90-minute Black Moon Lilith download on the Aries New Moon, which is March 25th, 2020, just one day before the Aries Sun lines up with Black Moon Lilith in Aries. So again, there's a link in the show notes, or you can visit astrologycousins.com to enroll for Black Moon Lilith. Unleash the queer witch in your chart. And so that's all the announcements I have here at the beginning of the show, and now we can go into our Pisces New Moon episode. Hey Cosmic Cousins, welcome back to the show. Happy Pisces season to you all. Happy Pisces New Moon. We find ourselves here at the end of a karmic cycle on the evolutionary spiral of the astrological wheel. So we're coming here towards the end here, right? Pisces is the end of the cycle. And you probably know by now, you've most likely been feeling this kind of shift in your life. This archetype, Pisces, it's our cosmic, collective, mutable water sign. You have Pisces somewhere in your chart. Everyone has Pisces there, so we get to love it up on this episode. Pisces, it plummets us into the depth of spirit and into the depth of emotion. So we're talking the deep well of the ocean here. This is the great waters of Pisces. But not only is it an energy that plummets us into the depths, it also expands us out into the ethereal realms, into the magical fairy realms, to angels and guides and spirits and God. Pisces, as a last sign, is enlightenment. So it is complete, utter bliss mixed with deep, dark chaos, shadow work. This is all of Pisces. So how do you pack it all into one episode? So here we are, and we're under the energy of the new moon. So if you're new to the show, what we do is we have an episode on every new and full moon, and you can think of it as a little cosmic gathering here. I set up an altar. I even dress the part. I'm feeling pretty Pisces tonight. But we're here under this new moon, the dark night, and we're also here during a Mercury Retrograde. So all of this is an invitation for us to pause, to wait, to breathe, to reflect. There's this gentle pause, there's this surrender into the unknown that Pisces is inviting us into. Mercury Retrograde often is going to invite us into that. And so we kind of have this double feel. And then also the new moon invites us into that too. So we have these three energies that are very much about rest, about quiet, about reflection. Pisces Mercury Retrograde can have us coming into contact with people from our past that are pretty karmic. But it doesn't have to just be people from our past. We can also be meeting new karmic relationship. We can be engaging in new karmic relationships at this time as well. So anyone who you haven't completely forgiven, Pisces energy is about closure. It's about forgiveness. It's about redemption and release. So I release, I forgive, I believe. These are three phrases that we can use for Pisces. I release, I forgive, I believe. So keep that on your mind and your heart during this weekend and also during Pisces season. I know for me, I have 2 phone calls set up for this weekend on Sunday, which is when the new moon is. I'm recording this a few days earlier, but one of these people that I'm going to be talking with, I haven't talked with in 5 years, and we had a really hard friend breakup. So we're going to be contacting each other this weekend. And then the other person is a family member who, by the way, is a Pisces moon, and I haven't talked to her in over a year. So really, during this energy of Pisces new moon, it's important for us to remember that we're only here on this planet for a short amount of time. Pisces energy can remind us of that. So how are we consciously reaching out to those in our life that we love at this time. Let the people around you that you love know that you love them. If there's people that you would like to make amends to say you're sorry to, this is a great time for that. And even if it's not in person, maybe it's not safe for you to talk to this person, or maybe this person isn't even here on this planet anymore that you would like to reach out to, know that you can reach out through song. You can reach out through prayer, through writing. Pay attention to your dreams. I mean, that is like a broken record. I hear everyone saying that during the Pisces New Moon. Pay attention to your dreams. But the reason why is because dreams are connecting us to this place that is not part of the physical reality that we live in. So Pisces is connected to the great unknown. It's anything that's not here and now. So yes, song, prayer, dreams, all of this. So you can reach out to people in spirit. Pisces reminds us of this too. So this Pisces new moon, it can really take us into these deeper karmic emotions, sometimes connected to the past, sometimes connected to our family of origin, right? Pisces is the universal family, and we learned about family dynamics through our upbringing, through our family. So it can also, like, family energy can come up for Pisces too. So it's not just deep darkness. I know, like, a lot of the people around me I've been talking to are really moving through shadow energy. So some of us are really diving deep to the bottom of the ocean right now. But a lot of us are experiencing magical expansions. And I sense with Pisces that it's usually both. You can't have one without the other. And so I know I have one friend who's going on an epic workshop weekend to deepen their studies of the Akashic Records. And this person just so happens to be a Pisces moon. What's up, D? And the Akashic Records, I mean, to be a Pisces moon or to go to an Akashic Records workshop during a Pisces moon is so in alignment, because when we are working with the Akashic Records, it's this practice that is connecting to guides, to masters, to loved ones, to teachers. Whenever I've gotten an Akashic Records reading, I feel like it's a psychic reading, and it's connecting me to these deeper truths that the person sitting across from me is telling me things that I'm not really sure how they know. But the specific symbols that they're receiving to relay to me really speak to the soul. Pisces is about speaking to the soul. So I have a friend doing the Akashic Records workshop during the Pisces New Moon. I have another friend who was invited to a Native American reburial ceremony, which is happening during the Pisces New Moon portal. So I'm seeing people in my life really experiencing magical things during this Pisces portal. But also there's an equal digging down and doing soul work. The people that are experiencing these expansions have really been doing their work too at the same time. And so this is making me think of the two fish. That's Pisces symbol, right? And how you can perhaps access these two parts of yourself, this darker, maybe sadder or scarier side of yourself. Maybe it's the part of yourself that is afraid, is terrified of the unknown, right? This is one side. And then there's the lighter, the more playful or ethereal energy that is Pisces as well, which is expansion, which is hope, which is faith. And so right now, I have actually been sick this week. It happened right as we crossed into Pisces, which is interesting. And it's been my stomach. I've had a lot of stomach stuff going on. And Pisces is connected to nausea. So we might be feeling things in our body. I think with nausea, and actually when you look at the way that it's spelled out, the last three letters are S-E-A-C, like the ocean. And so we get nausea or seasick when we're out on the boat in the middle of a sea, which is, if we were to make an image of Pisces, it would put us out on a boat in the vast ocean. But when we are feeling seasick or nauseous, it's usually connected to this feeling of not being in control. It's being out in the unknown. And I'm definitely, at this moment in my life, I'm in the unknown. And I'm nauseous, but I'm surrendering to the tide. I'm learning. It's teaching me that, because when you have stomach stuff going on, which, by the way, Virgo, Pisces polarity rules over the stomach and the digestion. And I'm a Virgo moon, so I am definitely feeling the tug, the polarity to my moon energy during this time of year on a deep emotional level, right? The moon. So amongst all of this, what it's teaching us, Pisces is about surrender. The Hangman is one of the cards for Pisces, which is Neptune, the ruling planet, which is, I have tattooed on my forearm. So the Hangman is this reminder for us to surrender, and Pisces is teaching us that too. And amongst the surrender, what we might begin to notice is that we see the world from a new perspective. The Hangman, right, is upside down, is seeing the world, is on the periphery of society, not doing anything. I've been doing that this week as we've been here in Pisces. I'm not really paying attention to the more practical, mundane things. I'm gifting myself a little bit more time in the morning. I'm lucky that I have that flexibility in my schedule to do that, but I've been taking baths, I've been daydreaming. I watched the new Aladdin movie with Will Smith, even though people told me not to watch it. I actually thought it was pretty good. So allowing yourself this flexibility to be softer. Pisces is a very receptive energy. If you try to fight the energy of Pisces, that's when the tidal wave comes. That's when you get knocked on your feet. This time of year is really asking us to tune in to the energies, the subtle energies around us. To tune into the fairies, to the angels, whatever imagery or connection that you have that speaks to your soul is great. Because Pisces is about your own connection, not about what other people believe. That's low vibe Pisces. Believing what other people believe is low vibe Pisces. High vibe Pisces is saying, this is what I believe. So with that, when we find ourselves in this place of being more in tune to the subtle realities, to the things that we can't necessarily explain in a practical way, this is when we open ourselves up to the cosmic flow or to synchronicity. So if you're moving through something more intense or dark at this time, reaching out to God or a higher power, calling upon the resources of the spirit world at this time, connecting to the great principles of peace or universal love can be helpful for you at this time. So for me, right now, last time we talked, I was house sitting for Lindsay Mack on the Leo full moon. And Lindsay is a Leo moon. And now 2 weeks later, I find myself mysteriously on the other side of the United States. That's a whole nother story. I'm not even going to get into that right now. But right now I'm currently in Ojai, California, and I'm house sitting for another friend. And literally on the first day of Pisces season, and by the way, whenever it's the first day of a new sun season, pay attention to the world around you, what's going on. This offers you a window to more intuitively connect to that energy in your own life and the messages that it might have for you. And so for me, the first day of Pisces season, this was back on Tuesday, February 18th in the evening. And for me, literally the hours leading up to Pisces season, I was driving on the winding roads by myself to Ojai. And then in the moment we switched into Pisces season, here I am, and it's nighttime. The stars are beautiful out here. I walk into this house that I've been staying at all week, and I'm here all by myself. Solitude. Pisces is connected to solitude, being on the periphery of society, right? So anything like solitary confinement, this is Pisces. Being on a boat in the middle of the ocean, going to a Vipassana retreat, a meditation center where you're in silence for 10 days. All of these experiences are Pisces. Pisces is connected to hospitals, to mental institutions, to prisons, anything where someone is alone or in confinement. So Pisces might often find themselves shining a light to these themes. It doesn't mean that Pisces themselves are in solitude, although some may like that. Or when you're moving through a lot of Pisces energy, you might be into that. For like right now, we have Neptune in Pisces. Neptune's been in Pisces since 2011, when a lot of us experience a spiritual awakening. Neptune's at home in Pisces. So this whole time period is a time of maybe being alone. But Pisces energy, and what I mean by that is when we're talking about all of these places of being on the periphery, Pisces might find themselves, if you're a Pisces sun, you might be shining a light to these themes. If you're a Pisces moon, you might feel that on a deeper level, on an intuitive level. And if you're a Pisces rising, you're waking up to these sort of experiences. And so what it's making me think of is like a Pisces sun might be someone who, this is just a metaphor, but it's making me think of a clown going to see sick children at a hospital. This offers a metaphor of Pisces. Pisces is connected to children, but it's also connected to elders. It's the entry to this life, so it's newborn babies, and it's the exit to this life, so it's people on their deathbed, hospice. Pisces is both the beginning and the end, right? It's making me think of Robin Williams, who is a Pisces moon. I don't know if he was a clown visiting people at a hospital or if he played that role. That image is coming to me right now. So just thinking of the Pisces moons that I know are often holding space for bringing joy to people's life through spirit or through something creative, particularly to those that are on the periphery of society, like a child who is sick. So just breathing into all of that and whatever that brings up for you. And so I'll tell you a little bit about what I got going on here. And also, just so you know, for me right now, I told you I'm staying at this place in Ojai. So this altar I have here is, most of the objects on here aren't mine. They're objects that I found from this house that I'm taking care of this week. And so the reason why is because I walked into this home right as we switched into Pisces season, I was telling you, and I just started chuckling to myself because the first thing I see when I put my car keys down on the tray was that in this little tray, there's a little tin of mints that has Mr. Rogers' face on it. And if you're not familiar with Mr. Rogers, Fred Rogers, was an American television personality, musician, puppeteer, writer, producer, and also a Presbyterian minister. So first of all, musician. This is connected to Pisces. Pisces is connected to music. When you listen to music, you're engaging with Pisces. A puppeteer. This is also very Pisces. Pisces is connected to ministry as well. So Mr. Rogers, was the creator and the showrunner and the host of the preschool television series Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, which ran from 1968 to 2001. So the reason I'm bringing him up is because I saw this little tin can with his face on it, and it said encouragements, and like encouragements like they're mints. And Mr. Rogers was a Pisces sun and a Pisces moon. So this is the energy that we're in for the new moon, Pisces sun, Pisces moon. And eventually, whenever we do the Zodiac King series, Mr. Rogers is a highly predicted candidate to be our King of Pisces. So yeah, I have the Mr. Rogers encouragement tin can thingy on the Pisces altar. And as I was exploring this home, I was blown away and also comforted with how Pisces this house is. And that's when I remembered that the people who live here, one is a Pisces moon, and the other has Venus in Pisces, and one of their children is a Pisces sun. So all over their apartment are words of affirmation literally everywhere, and not necessarily in an organized fashion. And so I was saying I have a Virgo moon, and so for me, being inside of a Pisces moon, Pisces Venus home is really balancing. And just remembering that Virgo is the polarity to Pisces, which we'll be building up to the Virgo full moon in 2 weeks. So we do have that polarity to consider. But just from my experience of being in here as a Virgo moon inside of a Pisces moon home, is that it's not that their house is messy or disorganized, but it like kind of is. And I mean that in the most beautifully poetic Pisces ways, because it doesn't matter how orderly the home is. The shoes at the entrance of the home are not filed away neatly. It literally looks like someone came home, flung their shoes off, and then wrapped their arms around the people that are in the house, giving them a hug. And so Pisces teaches us that it's not so much about the details, Virgo, as it is the connection here, around us, Pisces. And the reason I'm also bringing up shoes is because Pisces is connected to the feet. This is one of the parts of the body that you can pay attention to this time of year. Right now I have on some really cozy blue socks. So adorn your feet. This is a holy, sacred part of the body. So yeah, there's affirmations everywhere in this house. They're on the walls, they're on the fridge, they're above doors, they're above sinks. And so I want to read you some of them because I think they're quite nice. You are true blue. You are a powerful beacon of light. You are a rosebud of beauty. Friend of God. I am a sacred song awakening the group heart. I am celebrated and appreciated. You are 10,000 reasons to rejoice. You are loved. And there's just something so encouraging about Pisces energy. So not only do we have this altar that we're making here, but we also have this whole backdrop of this home cradling us here during Pisces season, Pisces New Moon. And the people that I'm house sitting for are both spiritual teachers. You might have picked up on that. So not only do we have this backdrop cradling us, these beautiful, compassionate affirmations all over this home, there's also hearts everywhere. And there are rainbows. Rainbows are a symbol of Pisces. It's all colors in one. It's all signs in one. And there are also pictures of spiritual masters framed all over this home too, blessing us up. And I'm talking like they're in frames, but they're not in any order. It's like, oh, I'm washing the dishes. And I'm like, oh, hey, what's up, Amma? How you doing? Or like I'm walking to the bathroom and I'm like, hey, Mother Teresa. So there's swamis, there's yogis, and I think my favorite photo that is up in this house is Martin Luther King Jr., who, by the way, had a Pisces moon. And Martin Luther King Jr. was a responsible human, Capricorn sun, on a magical boat out to sea, Pisces moon, letting us feel that deep well of compassion underneath his very public Capricorn platform. So this Capricorn and Pisces combo is really powerful. We see it a lot with some really legendary people. Our Queen of Pisces, who we crowned last year in 2019 during Pisces season, is Nina Simone. And Nina Simone was a Pisces sun with a Capricorn moon. So right now, for this episode, Sun is in Nina Simone.
Broken windows and empty hallways. A pale dead moon in a sky streaked with gray.
And Moon in Nina Simone.
Human kindness is overflowing, and I think it's gonna rain today.
So we can use Nina Simone as an energy to tune into to help us better understand Pisces. So last year during Pisces season, I selected 16 legendary figures that were Pisces, and then the listeners of the podcast chose the one person they thought most represented the feels of Pisces, and that was Nina Simone. And you can feel in her voice that she is channeling and also processing the emotions of the collective. This is collective water, Pisces, processing the emotions of the collective through her very devotional and empathic voice. Devotional prayer for peace. This is Nina Simone. So what would Nina Simone do? What would Mr. Rogers do? These are questions you can ask yourself during this Pisces new moon. And so when the sun and the moon line up, we get to shine a conscious light, the sun, towards the subconscious realms, our deeper knowings. And we could literally just keep talking because this is Pisces. And by the way, I have Mercury in Pisces, so my communication and my intellect moves in spirals, and it's spiritual, and it's compassionate, and it's highest. And right now we have Mercury in Pisces, so we might all be feeling this in conversations. The lower form of this, of Mercury in Pisces, for all of us is mental confusion. It can be a time where we feel really foggy in the brain, not knowing what truth is. And the higher form, though, it is this ability to articulate the otherworldly. Mercury in Pisces, this is poetry, this is music, this is song. So you may feel that at this time you have access to this, or maybe watching movies or listening to music unlocks your ability to communicate about things. You might feel that from me on the show always, because I do have Mercury in Pisces, or perhaps you're feeling it in your own life right now through this transit. And it just started to rain. That's really cool. It never rains in Ojai. It hasn't rained all week. It's been super sunny, so of course, as I start to record this, it rains. And you can stand under my umbrella. Rihanna is also a Pisces. But when the sun comes back out, we just might see a rainbow. This is Pisces, the symbol of the rainbow. And we can think on the northern hemisphere, Pisces is taking us into spring. It's mutable water. It's the end of winter. So Pisces is taking us out of the thunderstorm. Aquarius is lightning, thunderstorm, rain, water, and into the light, into spring. And so when light hits water, we see a beautiful rainbow. Rainbows are said to be a gift from God, or a sign that life goes on. The moments when we see rainbows, it reminds us of the beauty and the magic of this world. And it makes me think of the 10 of Cups in the tarot, which shows a family under a rainbow, and 10 cups in an arch. So 10 is the culmination of a suit. Pisces is the culmination of a journey. Cups are water. And this house I'm in right now feels very 10 of Cups. Rainbows are also a symbol for equality, that we all have the right to love whoever it is that we choose to love. This is collective water, y'all. Pisces is our collective water sign. So anyway, this has been such a long build up to this altar. Here on my altar, this is what I have. I have a blue handkerchief that I use to wrap my tarot cards in, and I have my tarot deck, which is light blue. And tarot is a very Piscean practice because it is a time when we get to communicate with God, or with our guides, or with our higher power, or our higher self. When we use the tarot, we tune into spirit, we pull cards, and we look at images and colors and symbols and let them speak to us. Pisces would inspire us when reading the tarot to not memorize the cards, but to play with them, to speak with them. And this is definitely my style of reading with tarot. To be sure, my Mercury in Pisces likes to be playful with the cards. I also have Jupiter in Pisces too, which is where wisdom and expanse lives for me. So Jupiter likes things to be extra and big. So this altar is overflowing. The floodgates are opening on this altar. And on this altar, we also have a candle with Mr. Rogers' face on it. This candle has not been lit. So we have a candle not lit with Mr. Rogers as a saint here. And then we have a candle that is now flowing over, and it is like a teal color. It looks teal, feels very oceanic to me. And we also have a blue balloon, and this blue balloon is just sort of half inflated. Why a blue balloon? First off, again, everything on this altar is found objects from this house. that I'm house sitting in because it's so Pisces. But also everything on this altar is blue. This is Pisces color. Any shade of blue will do. Connect to this color this time of year. And there's something quite sad and nostalgic about this blue balloon that I found hiding under the kitchen table all alone and forgotten. So that felt Pisces to me. I imagine this balloon was used to celebrate a birthday, and now here it is deflating. And Pisces is connected to that sort of sadness and nostalgia. But it also makes me think of our globe that is blue, our entire Earth family. Regina Spektor has a song that says, blue lips, blue veins, blue, the color of our planet from far, far away. Regina Spektor is Aquarius sun with a Pisces moon. There's a bowl of water here on this altar. There are rose petals for the love and compassion of Pisces. And there's a one day at a time Al-Anon book that caught my eye because it's a vibrant royal blue, but also because Pisces is connected to alcoholism on one end, or like any sort of addiction. That's one end of the spectrum. And then spiritual practices of sobriety are on the other end of the spectrum. And I have a few Pisces moons in my family. My grandfather was an alcoholic, and I know he had Mars and Uranus in Pisces, and he was in AA for something like 50 years. And I remember the serenity prayer that people in AA will often say was framed in his home. So today at our Pisces New Moon altar, we are able to honor anyone who has struggled with addiction or lost their life or lost a loved one to addiction. We're honoring all those people right now here on this Pisces New Moon. I also have another book here on this altar, which is light blue. It caught my eye on their bookshelf here at this house, and I've been reading it all week, and it's called Broken Open, How Difficult Times Can Help Us Grow. And so I'll read a passage from this book at some point during our gathering. I also have a mermaid Barbie doll here. Pisces is connected to mermaids. I found this in the bathtub, so I wanted to bring something more childlike, more bathtub energy to this altar. And I also have some plant medicine on the altar too, which was gifted to me, so I'm charging that up here. The actual Pisces New Moon is Sunday, February 23rd, 2020, early in the morning, around 7:30 a.m. Pacific time, 10:30 a.m. East Coast time. I also have the Pisces Tarot cards out here too. We've got the Hangman, which is Neptune, which we already talked a little bit about. We have the Moon card, which is Pisces Soul Growth card. And then we have the Page of Cups and Queen of Cups. For mutable signs, I use pages and queens. And then Cups is water. Page of Cups is giving us the ethereal energy. It's a young child looking into a cup at the ocean, and inside the cup is a fish, and it's like they're talking to the fish. And then also the Queen of Cups is peering into her cup. It's a very psychic, receptive energy. Queens are more about internal or introverted energy. So we could be feeling both of those. It feels like the two fish of Pisces to me. So those are the tarot. I also have the Ten of Cups out here too, which we were talking about too, which shows the rainbow in the sky. And so now that we have our altar set up, it's time for us to bring our awareness to our body and to our breath for a little meditation for embodied health. Every time that we gather, whether it's a new moon or the full moon or a workshop or any sort of gathering that we have, there will always be some time where we bring it to the body and to the breath. This is so important in our astrology practice. So taking a deep breath, just into the body, just noticing the body. How does it feel today? Where might you be storing any pain or hurt or discomfort? Can you send love to these parts of the body? Pisces, we said, is connected to the feet. So we'll take a deep breath into the feet, honoring all that the feet do for us throughout the day. It's making me think of walking on the beach. Pisces connected to this ocean scene and seeing footprints in the sand. So for this meditation, you could even take yourself to the ocean. Because Pisces is also connected to the water in the body. So locate the water in the body with the breath. And send love to all of these parts of yourself. Blessing the water in the body. During Pisces season, and always if you are a Pisces, blessing your water, whether it's the water that you're drinking or the water that you're bathing yourself with. Spending time with water is really important. Breathing peace into the water in your body. Praying for peace of your heart, of your mind, of your body, of your soul. Pisces is connected to any fluid that the body makes, so paying particular attention to any other fluids that you might have going on. Pisces is connected to the auric field, the energy around us. So now breathing in 3 feet in front of you, 3 feet behind you, 3 feet above you and below you, all around you. You can visualize white light here, bringing purification to your body, to your mind, to your spirit. So connecting to the water in the body, connecting to the fluid in the body, connecting to the auric field. This offers you a window into more intuitively connecting to Pisces energy. So being mindful of this throughout the Pisces New Moon. So while you do that and connect to the water in the body and the auric field, I'd like to read a passage to you. And again, this is from the book that was on our altar. It's light blue. It's called Broken Open, How Difficult Times Can Help Us Grow. And it's by Elizabeth Lesser. Before I read the passage I'd like to read, I would like to share with you what she says in the introduction. And so she says, there are small parables sprinkled throughout the book, like tiny lights strung along a path. Perched at the beginning of many of the stories and parables is a quotation or a poem. I realize that an opening verse is often regarded as ornamentation, but I mean for you to actually read these bits and scraps of poetry and prose. Some provide keys to the front doors of the stories. Others are vehicles that can carry you all the way through the stories and back out into your life. I thought that was really powerful to say in the introduction that the quotes aren't just there for ornamentation, but they are to be really taken seriously and to digest them fully. And it's reminding me of the words of affirmation that I was sharing with you at the beginning of this episode that are sprinkled around this house. So I share that with you because part of what I'm going to be reading to you is going to have a quotation in it. And I'd love for you to listen to it and really take it in. Okay. If our senses were fine enough, we would perceive the slumbering cliff as a dancing chaos. A rocky cliff is indeed a mass of dancing atomic particles, spinning and vibrating at tremendous speeds. This book you are holding, the chair you are sitting on, your own body. None are what they seem to be. Book, chair, body. Everything is circling in a cosmic dance, appearing to us as solid form. Yet if our senses were fine enough, we would stand around with our mouths hanging open at the glory and grace of it all. We would sense the presence of mystery everywhere. The angels keeping us safe as we drive home from work, the spirits hovering around our children, the thin waft of life pointing us in the direction of the road of truth. All we can do is try to refine our senses. We can try to quiet the noise in our minds, listen for deeper instruction, and leap without fear beyond what we think is so. Again, that was a passage from the book Broken Open by Elizabeth Lesser. And now I would like to play you a song from my dear friend Michael Anticoli, who I referred to as Michael Moon, just released a new album. And this album is connecting us to the element of water. It's called On Being a Vessel. You can find it on Spotify or iTunes. And we'll be listening to a song because Pisces is connected to music. It's the universal language of love. So when we listen to music, particularly music that is instrumental, it allows us to feel into that deep dive collective water feel. And so this song is called Foam, which is nice. It reminds me of sea foam. And Michael says this song is about help from beyond, the fingers and the foam of our angels, ancestors, intuitive guides. So as you listen to this song on this Pisces New Moon, you could put out a message to your guides, to your angels, to your ancestors, or just lovingly connect with them. So let's tune into this song now by Michael Anticoli. That was gorgeous. Thank you, Michael, for that beautiful offering. I'll put a link in the show notes. Michael just released this new album. You can check it out and allow yourself to dive into the deep waters of Pisces. This is a great time to listen to instrumental music, to be sure. So, thank you, as always, for tuning into the show. I have a few announcements before we close out our time together. If you are interested in supporting me and this work, you can sign up to be a Patreon for the show, and you can pledge a monthly donation. We have 2 new Patreon supporters. We have May Toon and Sarah Caruth. Thank you so much. It means so much that you tune into the show and that you value it enough to make a contribution. And also, I am a full-time astrologer. I offer 90-minute personalized astrology readings. We gather over the phone or over Zoom chat audio, and I send the recording to you as an MP3 so that you can listen back to it. But during our time together, we will connect to your sun, moon, and rising. We'll have a check-in with each of these 3 placements in your chart. And then we'll connect with each of the planets in your chart. We'll ride the wheel of your chart. And I'll give you dates throughout the year that you can connect in ritual immersion with each of your planets in your chart. My offering comes from a holistic, soul-centered, embodied perspective. So if you resonate with the information I share with you on the show, to be sure in the reading, it's going to be even more deeply personal. And so I have some new openings for March for 90-minute astrology readings. So astrologycousins.com. You can check the link in the bio. And again, Black Moon Lilith download workshop, 90-minute download. It is unleashing the queer witch in your chart. I'm really passionate about this offering. The early enrollment is through February. My most affordable offering ever. Don't miss it. Black Moon Lilith, unleash the queer witch in your chart. Link in the show notes. And finally, if you'd like to help me get the word out on the show, you could share with your friends and family. You could rate 5 stars. You could leave some comments and love. And so I'd like to read a review that someone wrote in. This is from Constance J.K. It says, literally the best, with a sparkle emoji. Constance writes, I'm smitten with this podcast and all of Jeff's offerings. He makes astrology accessible, relatable, and fun, while also diving into the depths of the energy. I can't speak highly enough about his work and share this podcast with everyone. That's awesome. And they then say, I really love how he weaves tarot into his astrology. 10 out of 10, highly recommended, with clapping emojis. Thank you. That's really nice. Yeah, if you feel called, you could leave some comments and some love. That would make me feel good. I just had my birthday last week, too, so some of you reached out and remembered and said happy birthday. My birthday's on Valentine's Day. So thanks to those who sent me a message. I feel the love. And I'm feeling the love on this Pisces new moon, too. Sending love to each and every single one of you. Whatever it is that you're moving through right now, this Pisces energy is reminding us to just take it really gentle and sweet. So take sweet care, cousins, and remember, deep breaths.